Okay, everything's fine now. I normally wouldn't start a stream this late, lying. But I am so close to the end of Ace Attorney. And I got done with all the stuff I had to do today, and I was like, you know what? I just want to kill it. Sorry, Ace Attorney. So yeah, I'm just gonna be finishing the last case of Ace Attorney. I've somehow played 40 hours of this game. I don't think that's correct. But I'm excited. It's gonna be awesome. I'm still not used to this new mic. I was listening to it back and I was definitely peaking sometimes by, I think what I was doing is like, if I look at it, like, and then I talk like this and I say something like potassium, that's when I don't know. That's for me to figure out later. So I just gotta not look at it. It's gotta like be in my peripheral, but just don't look directly at it. Okay, I will pull it up, I swear. It is not hot in this room at all. I don't know why I'm burning. It's because I made 4 different teas and they're all sitting on my table. What even happened last time? It doesn't matter. It does matter. How do I find this? This is a wonderful, wonderful way to come back to this stream. Just beautiful, actually. There it is. Okay, everything's good. Go back here, turn this off. I'm so normal. I'm back. Okay. So, last time we found out that Emma totally murdered that guy on purpose. Completely on purpose. Is it like completely 100% she was definitely trying to kill someone? So we're gonna try her for murder, like the murderer she is. February 25th, 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. Let me turn this light on. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh, sorry. Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, he called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. What? You must know the true rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
Hey, I don't think they sound like that, pal. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you know, from the Powerpuff Girls, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. From This Guy explains 2 rules of evidence law. I'm sorry, this whole book explains 2 rules? Okay. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you are unaware of. Emma Skye found out she was unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. no matter what it takes. This case hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Pal, shut the fuck up. I don't know what you're talking about. How does that book only have 2 things in it, pal? That doesn't make sense. There's at least 80 pages in there. February 25th, 1252, District Court, Courtroom number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well... Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witness. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Hyde, what do you say? Yeah, unbelievable. That's really epic. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. That's so cool. But it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Hyde. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls... The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. It's Mike Meekins. Okay, guys. We're going after me. I just don't know who could... Bruce Goodman, yeah. Sorry. Take that! Oh. I'm sorry. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. What the fuck am I doing here? Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave. Brave. Haha, you just said brave. Shut the fuck up. Either you're very brave, or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Fucking everyone does? Oh, sorry, we're in Japan for we got rid of the Fifth Amendment. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Am I stupid? I don't know why. I may just be really tired, but I really had to stop and fact check that the Fifth Amendment was what I was thinking it was. Anyway, don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. That seems pretty cool. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck...
When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was just lying on the floor unconscious. Holy shit. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. I love his tie. It's so funny that it's literally just the cross. As I recall, you should probably read that book that supposedly only has 2 entries. Isn't that crazy? What does this... Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Now, rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Is there something that we have? Wait. Wait. Wait, but we can't show this evidence. Wait, we can't show this evidence. We can't show this piece of cloth. Fuck. Well, whatever. It just shows that I pushed him, I guess. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. What do you mean he slipped up? So the 2 of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it into the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say. He got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. I thought it was gonna make an Edgeworth joke. I thought it was clear cut he was gonna make an Edgeworth joke. It was kind of easy picking there. That's not funny. When I went into my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out.
Wake up! Now I'm tired and 48 years old. Let me sleep.
Next to them were those 2 poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. How can you know that? Because of a victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... You found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yeah. Anyway. Why do you have that anyway? I just like it. It's so cool. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already been taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd better off be staring at the court record. Worthy. Always a smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. No. Bears Imasky's Prince. Oh. Well, if it's your fucking... Well, no, I didn't mean to do that. Damn. I've got it. It's either this or the pot. I'm gonna save. I love saving. Trial ladder. Epic. Sure, bud. How about this? I could show the pot, but I'm gonna show this. Hell yeah. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this? What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please? I don't know. You tell me, son. Huh? My dear Rido, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? It appears the defense was not prepared. I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence. Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay. I'll do it just this once. But only because you asked, Haji. Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry. Ha ha. Yeah. Sorry I didn't nail you. I guess the pot. I'll show the pot. They really don't want me to use this little leather piece. They really hate it. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. I thought they were going to say rule number 1. I know it beat there. I know because I turned my head. I thought they were going to say rule number 1 because it wasn't approved. I don't know. I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh. Here's a defense attorney who may or even rival Worthy. So you admit it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can also do so, too. Isn't that right, Rido? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further. He'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Evidence and forgery. Let's see, what is it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. I know what to do now. Now we use it. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh, indeed. I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Udgy. In return, though... I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? What are these guys, telepathic? What are these guys, in love? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. Nah. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery... I'm not through speaking yet, Rido. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed on the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The Chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Rido. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gan. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reap from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police. Oh! The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That itself is sufficient motive. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. There, it's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. You don't care about me? You'd be like number 4, Aji. I'm not right there. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Brother, why would you say that? You're begging for me to say that you would blackmail someone. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it?
Wake up! Wake up now!
If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. That's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Point out an accomplice. Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out if he was blackmailing them? True. You might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief in as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. Sure am, bud. That's not what I mean. Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Lana. Take that! Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how could he profit from all of this? He would be able to use chief prosecutor as his puppet, Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? We gotta send him to the old folks' home. We gotta get him out of here. Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless, that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Or which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor had been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone had been controlling her. I got you. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just, what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana the rap... Oh... He's now making Lana rap for her career. But the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious! Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? The Chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder. Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. Oh, sorry. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, that has really long hair. Then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask for evidence. Show us what proof the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Is this the day of a crime? Is it? No, there's got to be something more solid than this. On that day, Detective Goodman had to go to see Chief Gant. Sorry to interrupt your mumblings, but the court is waiting. Why don't you come meet me? Why don't you come meet with me tomorrow? Perhaps we could write up your letter of termination. Regardless, you did see Detective Goodman that day. I may be stupid. Oh shit, it can only be submitted to the chief of police. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report filled. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh! Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way to make the murderer and Detective Goodman... There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to this record, your card was used only once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. I wonder how hot this is. How did he manage to move it there? I was in the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Obviously it was a shield. I really don't know. Was it the Blue Badger? Is it the Blue... It's not the Blue Badger, is it? Okay, let's think about things that could possibly have been used to move a body. I don't see how a body would go anywhere near the Blue Badger. That doesn't make any sense. Something useless taking up space. The autopsy report, no. The cell phone, no. Let's cut out things that make no sense. Edgeworth's car, no. Angel Star, no. Shoe, no. It's not going to... It can't be the Blue Badger. It cannot be. The glove. I don't know, how did he move a body? The locker, the jar, Marshall's fingerprints, the tape, the SL9 files. It's not the cloth. Is it the Blue Badger? It has wheels, it's stored in there. Is it the Blue Badger? It was dancing in the evidence room. No, wait. I'm so confused. Is it the Blue Badger? I can't think of anything else. I cannot think of anything else it would be besides the Blue Badger. Is it? There's no way. Okay, it wasn't. Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? And I'll help you dispose of it. Chief Gant stayed at the PD and Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office. That leaves only one possible way he could move the body. I don't understand. The only problem is, how did he get him to do it? If that piece of evidence really did have something to do with this case. I'm so confused. What didn't have anything to do with this case? The parking stub? The parking stub? Because he went to the... Because Edgeworth went somewhere, I guess? I don't know. The parking stub. This is how you move Detective Goodman's body. A parking stub? Miles Edgeworth. You mean... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Well, no shit. I was thinking that the problem was, like, getting it out of the evidence room. The body was moved by that car. You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait. Even you know. I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me. Why? I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport the evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please, say something. I believe. Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Rido, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you have any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gann is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusation against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? I have no proof yet. They're both wearing gloves. I have no proof. I have no proof yet. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Yaji? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Yaji, I'll leave the rest to you. This bitch. Get him back here. Am I dead? I die. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior officer of our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Lady Luck, huh? Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only method of proof is testimony. Chief Gann has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling the witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Lana Sky. Okay, this case rocks now. The defendant, Miss Lana Sky. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in... Hold on. Huh? Oh, hold on. Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such an outrageous claims anyway. Right. Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay, if there aren't any further objections. This court is... I'm fine with that, whatever. This court is now in recess. Yeah, that wasn't suspicious at all. Okay, I will take this moment to take a short little break, and I'll be right back. I said it would be quick. Or was it mine? For once. I wonder if my other tea is still scalding hot. It is scaring me. I'm gonna say it probably is. Yep, that would still burn me. Severe burns. I will just drink my normal water, unfortunately. Okay. I need more decimals. Let's get back into it. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief. He's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. What do you mean... Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Ride. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If a chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too?
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm cool. Just like checking. Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma? I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to. That must be why she became so cold. Plane. Airplane.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Ride. It's time to end this. To be continued, except we're going still. That's weird to put the to be continued at the end of the recess instead of at the beginning. That's it. The last save slot. Whew. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. There's Lana. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? What's up, yo? I hear you've been rapping to cover yourself. Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us all about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motive was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure.
But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning.
Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see. I was 24 then, so it would have been 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And... she said turn around to lie, oh boy. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. What? The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh! That was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up the lies with more lies.
All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off a tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you move the body? Why did you move the body? When you showed up to the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason this guy moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that were shattered during the events threatened my plan.
Why? How? The pieces of a jar? You mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Drake committed the crime, Dark, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course. It had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would have been clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see. What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here with somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
Okay. Pieces of a jar shattered during the events starting my plan. Okay, here are the ideas I'm thinking of with this. Either I present the unstable jar because Emma was written on it, or I present the picture, this picture, the drawn picture. Where is it? This one. Okay, I get all my stuff back. That's awesome. But I'm going to try first. Shared during the events, I'm going to show the picture, I guess. That was incorrect. That was not correct. Okay. I'm going to show the jar. Yep, okay. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction? In my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where this contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died.
What? Fuck.
He couldn't have... Oh, that makes more sense. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're in the dark as we are. You're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't Chief Prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Jar and message in blood.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on my jar.
So the jar was already broken?
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. But not as feeble as a judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you'd do that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I was sure I got them all.
But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt the stay will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Fuck. Ah. I keep pressing the wrong button. They're so close to each other. Well, what about the one in the safe, buddy? Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of a jar in Chief Gant's safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of all of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first person to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. Oh, but couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Huh, can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that! There was no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. The other person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying that person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Drake. Dark downstairs. Fuck, I keep doing that. Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was a... The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! We have a Your Honor breakdown. Your Honor, a judge. Oh my god. His legal name, Your Honor. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became Chief's puppet. Oh damn, she bit her fucking face.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. I don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. What? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you can tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
Alright, the witness may now testify once more, for the final time. Actual crime scene.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on Matsuda Arma's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the Arma's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
I'm going to kill you. I'm sorry. Let me kill this person. Oh, I can't do it. Oh well. I love OBS. It doesn't let me do anything. Get some cheap streamers free right now. Cheap, free. Go to this website. No. Leave. Die.
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
How do I... Man. Oh well. I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Oh. This is so cute.
P.O.
Oh, shit! Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything.
Mr. Wright! The piece cut from his vest! Could that be...
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this?
This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those must be the real murderer.
What? But those fingerprints... you don't want to say that, Bessie. They're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with this cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that...
Come now, Aji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant! What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? That's really cool that they did that. Holy shit. If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of a noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any more statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Rido? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Hey, is this true, Mr. Hyde? If I show that piece of evidence now, it was sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Hyde, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make a wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? No. 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 Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gan? You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of the has been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Rido. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her.
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay on her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. That was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those 2 items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always been best prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to make anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all this evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Rido. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off a victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do with that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. No, there's no, like, other side. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Rido. You should have shown it before when it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up. Here, victory's mine. I can't show it. I can't show. I can't show evidence. Well, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, just expose the poor girl's fingerprints. Right. Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances. I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? I was. So, just figured out my plan. I'm not getting demoted for that. I know what I'm doing. I thought it was gonna let me... Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Mr. Edgeworth, your opinion, please? I think Mr. Wright's humor has improved, at the expense of his defense. What the fuck? Okay.
Come on, Mr. Wright. You remember that thing with the murderer's handprint on it, don't you?
No way around it, Mr. Wright. Now let's try this one more time. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. I do not know. I thought they were gonna be like, oh, well, it wasn't... The police didn't check it over, so I can use the book. What do I do? Do I actually just show it? There's no way. That's Marshall's handprint. That's... I guess I'll just show it, whatever. Fuck it. I already saved. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes! At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth! Your Honor, the prosecution requests to be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There has to be a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean... It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho! You're as slow on the uptick as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had it all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would he do that? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that.
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to... Do I really present her? Emma? Emma Sky?
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Ho 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 ho! You're really something, Rido. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky,
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, and yet you acted like she really didn't.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Is it on the inside? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Was he not wearing one? And he's wearing it in this. And he's wearing it in this. I don't know. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. I don't know. Is it? Is it the picture? I'm going to save. I cannot save. Okay, let's think about this rationally, right? It cannot be any of this information. It cannot be, like, most of this information. It's got to be something over here. Oh, is it that he's bloody? Oh, shit, there's no blood. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yeah, yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood in his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out into his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth! Wait, there's no blood on it! Ugh! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense!
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up an unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Though through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the one, oh my god, at the absolute apex of his fucking speech, I can't get it. You proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over.
Objection! That was close, Rhino. You almost had me.
Huh?
So sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I've refuted all your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Ooh, but you're dumb. Order, order! What nonsense is this?
Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Haji. Earlier, old Rhino here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rhino? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth can cease to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
Ho 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 ho! Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? I've got it. It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright? Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you personally and illegally concealed this evidence of cloth? No, I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point.
So the evidence is illegal?
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Haji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence flaw.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Skye's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth. Nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It's going without saying that I did not have the approval of the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? If you want relevancy, just take one look at this picture and...
Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago. No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value and evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece of the victim's vest?
Oh, yes. No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be.
Damon Gant. The killer was you. No. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on outing me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only hope of finding out the truth.
Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, and he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room, and all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker as he was taking the evidence out. He asked.
He said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall."
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw him. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car.
I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside.
How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this?
Well, she had as much to lose as I did when the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker?
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar fragments in the glove?
Yeah. Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Budgie. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Budgie. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Rido here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. No! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing. Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you, and yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it! I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor?
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky,
not guilty. Yippee!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over.
Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for murder. She didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended.
I can see why Mia I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well.
You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Shut up. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Sorry. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all over while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma, I owe you an apology.
It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it.
That day, 2 years ago,
Wake up!
it was the first time in my life I had ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess.
Sis.
I asked Aunt to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I couldn't pose anymore. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew.
But sis, you were only doing it for me.
No.
Huh?
I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you.
Sis.
I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry.
But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now.
You're happy?
Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma.
Aww. Aww. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we wake? Whoa! Why must we wake up everywhere? Why must we? Oh my God! Why must we wake? Oh my God! Why must we? Why must we wait? Oh! Why must we? Oh my God! I had to drink something. Why must we? Why must we make? Why must we? I can't read. I've gotten through this whole game, and this one sentence is getting me. Why must we? Oh Jesus! Why must we make up for our mistakes? You ask. You asks. Why must we make up for our mistakes? You ask. Because in doing. Oh my God! Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from that. Oh my God. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter. One more time. And it is from there that we can move forward toward a brighter future. Wow. The best last line ever. At least, that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe,
Me?
thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday.
No, we won't. I love you, Lana. We will not meet again. I'll see Emma again, but I hope you're doing well, though.
Isn't that right? Edgeworth,
That Edgeworth?
stop hiding and come over here.
Where was he hiding? I was behind the couch. I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. In order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. All because of that partnership. You were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. What? Something neither of us would have been able to find on our own. The blue badger. I cannot save. I'm just going to look it up. Oh, this!
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth.
If you'll excuse me. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth! What will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you. You can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell.
Well, that was the whole thing, huh? I'd better be going too.
Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon.
It seems you both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you.
Scientific investigation?
It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well.
Thanks, sis. I will.
No. Oh, and so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Larry, Mia, Maya, Edward. A journey to rediscover myself. In Phoenix Wright. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh?
Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright's here the one who... Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Yay, I got an idea. Why don't y'all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Cute. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh! I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma.
Sweet. Wow, the end of that case is like delightful. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easy. Oh my god. I don't want to talk because I'm afraid. Yep, there he is.
My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. But I can do just like that Dick Gumshoe.
No, please don't. We already got one. We don't need two. And he's way cooler than you. Sorry, bud. Sorry, Gumshoe is way cooler than you, man. Blue Badger. Let's have a dance one more time. Yeah. Hell yeah. As long as you're not playing the music, I love this. This is amazing. My ass was like, yeah, he obviously used the Blue Badger to get him out. I thought, like, maybe, like... Oh. No. How'd he get him out of there? The Blue Badger, obviously. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Who? The fuck are you talking about? Oh, the plants. That's sweet.
Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
What a game. Oh man, I shouldn't be watching this. This is making me want to play 2 so bad. 2's gonna take, that would be like another year out of my life if I go straight into that. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to. I better be. Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Wait, have we seen the chair before? That chair looks really uncomfortable. And it's super red. What? That's a lot of people in translation. I guess that makes sense.
Maya! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick.
I'm assuming that's Pearl. I love Pearl. I love Maya. I love them. Oh, this game is so good. I didn't know we were gonna see Maya again. That's so sweet. At least for this game. That's what I meant. Did he go visit them? Or was it like a phone call or something? I don't know. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. Huh? What's going on? This is so interesting, because this game definitely came out after the second and third games came out. At least the second game. Emma!
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to go to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Oh no! Stop! That's so cute! Stop, you're gonna make me cry. No, no, I don't see this. I choose not to see this. This is the sweetest picture ever. Holy shit. Oh my god. Stop. Yeah, this game's pretty good. This game is pretty cool. And that is it for Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, just Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which is the first game. I will be back at some point to play Justice for All. I can say for certain this is a somewhat shorter game because there's one less trial, I think. I may be stupid. I would like to play at least... Honestly... Cards on the Table, I'd like to play all the games on stream. It's just about like time and how long that will take. Because this took like... I don't think it was a full year, but like... I definitely didn't have the best planning with it. Let me see when the first VOD was uploaded. Overall, review... I think I talked about how I felt about Phoenix Wright before. I love Phoenix Wright. I think the first game is pretty good. First game's pretty good. You have to spend, I feel like a lot of the, to be fair, a lot of the established setup that I like with, I guess it was half a year it took for this game, for me to finish it. I feel like a lot of the established setup I like from these games comes from like 2, after you've gotten to know the characters. Because you have to take like 1-1, you're Phoenix, you're just in there. 1-2, it's the first time you meet Maya. Maya's on trial. 1-3 is the first time you really get to just kind of chill and bounce off Maya in like a non-high stakes situation for her. And I'm putting this in terms of Maya because she's just probably my favorite character out of this game. And then 1-4, you wrap it up with Edgeworth, and then you get it's just great. I love the original set of trials. 1-5, boy howdy, did I relive my like 2013 playing of this game, where I got to like the first couple days, and I think they're just a little rough. I don't hate like Jake or Angel, but I feel like as characters they really don't do anything important until like day 2 of the trial, and then I'm like, oh, okay. The first day in general is just like it is probably one of my least favorite investigations ever. It's just so long. But then again, the end of this trial is so good. I kind of don't care. It is the most like, when I'm in the beginning, I would not want to replay the beginning of this again. Like for 10 years from now, when I replay Phoenix Wright, I will probably have the same complaint that I do not like the beginning of this trial. But the end's so good. I feel like the only thing, I don't know. I just really like it all because you start off, and I feel like everyone in this case feels like when you first meet them, they feel kind of flat. And then the more that you go on, the more that like everyone has their own motivation. And I think Emma's just delightful. Emma is, I think, beyond like just being the kind of like, oh, scientific investigation. Like she's just very charming, and you feel, aside, you don't have to be her sister of however many years to be like, oh shit, I would want to like, I would feel bad. I want to protect her too, you know? I'm rambling as hell. It is 2 a.m. But like, I'm like, damn. I just love Lana and Emma. They're just so, it is so sweet after spending fucking 8 hours plus. The amount of time I've spent on this trial is, how long have I spent on this trial? This will have been, I started at part 14, which was already a 2-hour stream. So 2 hours plus an hour and a half. So 3 hours and a half plus another hour. Are we getting more? I don't know what's happening. Vin, I hope you're doing so well. I literally just finished. I'm just rambling about how much I love this game. I hope you're having a good night though. But you missed all the very sweet NCG pictures. But now I'm not tied down to Phoenix Wright. So I get to play more games again. Like Phoenix Wright Justice for I will be coming back to that later. Stream again. Who's to say I won't stream tomorrow? Like, who's to say I will not stream tomorrow? And honestly, at this point, since you're here, when do you want me to stream tomorrow? Let's just be honest. Like, cards on the table right now. Give me a time. give me specific PST time, because I will be here. I'll probably be playing either Oberden or Chance of Sinar, because my friend wants me to play that. I will stream around your schedule. Sorry. No, but I love this game. I love this game so much. Anytime, sick. I love this game so much. I cannot wait to play the second one when I have fully set out time for myself. But I finally, like, I cannot describe to you, when I first did these streams for this game specifically, I would get done with like just an hour and my voice would be shot. But now, I did like was it 4 hours? Like 3 hour. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I'm sorry, it didn't work out that you could be here the whole time. But I'm glad I got to see you before I go to sleep. And I will be back tomorrow. Hell yeah. That's it. Good night. Bye-bye.